Welcome to Calm, Dreamy Sleep, a peaceful place where stories become dreams. Just relax and slowly close your eyes. Take a gentle breath in and let the day quietly drift away. If this story brings you peace, if you feel calmer, lighter, please subscribe and like. So let's start. There were two houses, two villas, facing each other across a quiet square. One was built of cream-colored stone, warm cream stone that seemed to glow in the afternoon light. Climbing roses reached toward the sun there, up the old walls, their petals falling like soft rain onto the path below. The other house was built of honey-colored stone, warm and golden. Its gardens were so beautiful. People said that angels must have painted them. Jasmine climbed the walls there, its white flowers opening at night, releasing their sweetness into the darkness. Fountains sparkled there in the afternoon light, catching the sun, throwing tiny rainbows onto the leaves of ancient olive trees. In the first house, the creamstone house, there lived a young man. His name was Romeo. He had eyes that noticed beauty in simple things. He noticed the way morning light touched the old bell tower at dawn. He noticed the exact blue of the sky just before the stars appeared at dusk. He noticed the sound of a distant bird singing alone in the quiet of evening. He would walk through the city at dawn when mist still clung softly to the rooftops, when the streets were empty and quiet, and the whole world felt new, fresh, full of possibility. He carried a small notebook in his pocket, but he rarely wrote in it. He preferred simply to watch, to feel the cool morning air on his skin, to listen to the silence, to the small sounds within the silence, to wait for something he could not name, that trusted, deeply trusted, would come in its own time, in its own way. In the second house, the Honeystone house, there lived a young woman. Her name was Juliet. Her world was a garden, a secret kingdom she had created with her own gentle hands. Fountains whispered there, their soft songs. Fruit trees bent low with golden oranges, heavy and sweet. Roses bloomed there, as if they loved her, as if they knew her touch and bloomed just for her. She would speak to the flowers as she passed among them, her voice soft, like petals falling, like rain on leaves. She told them about the book she was reading by candlelight the night before. She told them about the way the moon looked so round and silver, hanging over the garden wall. She told them about the quiet longings of her gentle heart. In the evenings, when the sky turned to velvet, soft and deep, when the first stars appeared, one by one, in the darkening blue, she would stand on her balcony, leaning against the cool stone railing, smooth and old, breathing in the sweet night air, filled with jasmine and roses, and the scent of sleeping earth. Feeling a gentle anticipation, a soft waiting, as if the whole world was holding its breath, waiting for something beautiful to unfold. One summer, the air in Verona grew thick and sweet with promise. The Capulet family decided to host a masquerade ball, a celebration for the summer solstice, when the boundary between dreams and reality grows thin, when magic feels possible, close, tangible, when anyone can become a beautiful stranger for one night. Invitations were sent on cream-colored paper, smooth and thick, speaking of music and dancing, of lanterns, lighting the night with soft golden glow, of mystery and enchantment and wonder. In his cream-stone villa, Romeo's friends urged him gently to go. "Come," they said softly. "We will wear masks. We will lose ourselves in the music for a while. What harm could there be?" And something in Romeo's quiet heart stirred. A soft yes. An agreement to an adventure he did not yet understand, but trusted. In her honey-stone villa, Juliet prepared with quiet joy. Her gown was silk, the color of midnight, deep and dark, shot through with silver threads like captured starlight caught in the fabric. When she moved, she seemed to float, to shimmer, to glow. Her mask was delicate silver with tiny diamonds catching the light like tears of joy. And when she tied it on, she looked in the mirror and saw a beautiful stranger looking back, ready for an evening of pure enchantment. The night arrived, soft and warm as a blanket, as a mother's arms. Lanterns were lit throughout the Capulet gardens, hundreds of them, soft paper lanterns, casting pools of golden light on ancient stone, on green leaves, on faces passing by, creating dancing shadows on old walls that had seen centuries of nights like this. Garlands of roses and trailing ivy hung from every archway, their fragrance filling the warm air, sweet and intoxicating, like love itself, made visible, made fragrant. Candles flickered on every surface, on tables, on windowsills, on stone ledges, their flames dancing slowly, softly, gently, making marble floors glow like still golden water, like liquid light. Musicians tuned their instruments in a gallery above. The soft sound of lutes and viols floating through open windows. A gentle prelude to the evening's magic, a soft beginning to a night of wonder. And then the guests arrived in a slow, beautiful parade of silks and velvets, of jewels and feathers, of mystery and grace. Their faces hidden behind masks of every color, of silver and gold, of black velvet and white lace. They moved through the candlelit rooms like figures in a dream, like spirits visiting from some other world. Their laughter soft, their conversations a gentle murmur, blending with the music, becoming part of the night's sweet song. Romeo moved among them, content simply to watch, to observe, to let the dream unfold around him. He accepted a goblet of wine from a passing servant who moved like a ghost through the crowd. He found a place near the edge of the dance floor where he could see the beautiful scene spread before him. And then, as if drawn by an invisible thread, as soft as spider silk, as gentle as a whisper, as tender as a baby's breath, his gaze drifted across the room. He saw her standing near a garland of pale roses, partially turned away. The candlelight seemed to gather around her, a soft, warm halo on the deep blue of her gown. She turned her head slightly, just slightly, and even from across the room, behind her silver mask, he could see her eyes, dark and luminous, deep and calm, like pools of quiet water reflecting the night sky, like the deep places in the forest where light barely reaches, but peace lives forever. At that same moment, Juliet felt a curious, gentle tug at her own awareness, a soft pulling at her heart, a quiet summoning. She turned, her eyes scanning the crowd, slowly, gently, and found him. A young man in a simple black mask, standing very still, while the world moved around him, like water around a stone, like wind around a mountain. And in that look, something passed between them. Not a shock, not a sudden thunderclap, but a deep, quiet recognition. It felt like remembering a face from a beloved dream, a dream you had long ago and thought you had forgotten. A feeling of peace, of coming home after a very long journey, of finding the door open, the fire lit, the welcome waiting. He moved toward her, and the crowd seemed to part for him, silently, effortlessly, naturally, as if the very air wanted to make way, as if the universe was clearing a path for this moment, this meeting, this destiny. He stopped before her and held out his hand, his voice soft and warm, like honey, like candlelight, like the first warm day of spring. "My lady, might I have this dance?" Juliet placed her hand in his, and the touch was as natural as breathing, as inevitable as sunrise, as right as rain falling on thirsty earth. He led her onto the floor, and they began to move together. The music was slow, a gentle, swaying melody, a song that seemed to have been waiting for them all evening, all their lives. And they fit into its rhythm as perfectly as two notes in a chord, as naturally as rivers flowing to the sea, as surely as the moon follows the sun. They didn't speak at first. They didn't need to. Their bodies moved as one, a slow, gentle turning, a quiet, floating dance, a soft and sacred circling, while the world and the music and the candlelight all melted away into a soft, golden blur, into a warm and peaceful dream, into a moment outside of time. When the dance ended, they found a quiet corner, a small alcove nestled beneath trailing vines, away from the gentle hum of the party, away from the music, the laughter, the crowd. The music was softer here, a distant, soothing echo, like memory, like longing, like peace. The candlelight flickered gently, creating dancing shadows on the stone walls, on the leaves above, on their faces. They sat together, their voices low, so low, like secrets, like prayers, like the softest whispers, and began to share the simple stories of their lives. He told her about walking through the city at dawn when the streets were empty and he could hear his own thoughts clearly, about the notebooks full of half-finished poems that piled up in his room like pressed flowers, like captured moments, about the feeling of waiting for something wonderful all his life without knowing what it might be. She told him about her garden, about speaking to the roses as if they were old friends who understood her, about standing on her balcony in the evenings, looking out over the city, feeling as though she were waiting for someone, without knowing who or when they might arrive. They spoke of books they loved, of poems that made them weep, of stories that stayed with them long after the last page was turned. They spoke of the color of the morning sky, of the way light played on ancient stones, of the peace they found in quiet places, in gardens, in empty streets, in moments of simple beauty. There was no hurry, no urgency, only the soft, steady flow of two souls discovering they spoke the same quiet language. The night seemed to last forever, and yet, like all beautiful dreams, it began to gently fade with the first hint of dawn. The sky in the east grew pale, soft shades of pearl and rose, of lavender and gold. The candles had burned low, their flames small and tired, their light soft and sleepy. They parted with a promise, spoken softly in the rose-scented air, to meet again. Tomorrow, Juliet whispered, in the garden. And so began a time of secret moonlit meetings, every night, as the city grew quiet, as the stars emerged, soft and bright, one by one, in the darkening sky. Romeo would find his way to the wall of Juliet's garden. He would wait among the shadows of ancient olive trees, their silver leaves whispering in the night breeze, listening to the gentle song of the fountain, the soft splash of water, falling, always falling, feeling the cool night air on his face. So soft, so gentle, so kind. And then she would appear on her balcony, a vision in the silver light of the rising moon, her pale gown seeming to glow with its own soft light, like moonlight captured in silk. Her face turned toward him with a smile so gentle, so full of love, so full of welcome. It made the very night seem warmer, seem brighter, seem more beautiful. They would speak for hours, their voices soft, like falling leaves, like distant music, like the sound of rain on a quiet roof. Their words weaving a quiet cocoon around them, a safe place, a warm place, a place only for them. They talked of everything and nothing, of dreams for the future, of memories from the past, of the simple beauty of a perfect rose, of the way the night air felt on their skin, of all the small precious moments that make a life worth living, worth sharing, worth loving. Their love was not a loud, demanding thing. It was a quiet, steady warmth, like the glow of a single candle in a large, peaceful room, like a fire kept safely burning through the longest night, through the darkest hours, waiting for dawn. It was a feeling of perfect safety, of being completely understood and gently loved, of finding the one person in all the world who sees you exactly as you are and loves you exactly for that. Their love grew as naturally and quietly as the jasmine climbing the garden wall, one tendril at a time, one leaf after another, as steadily as the fountain's endless flow, drop after drop, moment after moment, as surely as the stars appearing each night, always there, always faithful, always watching. And soon, the wish to be united, to make their quiet bond a sacred and lasting thing, grew in their hearts. There was a kind and gentle friar, a wise man, who lived in a small chapel on the hillside above the city. He understood the quiet language of the soul, the deep places where words are not needed, where love simply is. He agreed to marry them in a simple ceremony, with no grand music, no crowd of guests, only love and faith and the blessing of heaven watching over them. It was a golden afternoon. The small stone chapel was filled with warm colored light streaming through its simple windows, painting the ancient walls in shades of blue and gold and rose. Wildflowers stood in clay pots near the altar, gathered from the hillside that morning, still fresh with dew, still sweet with fragrance. The sound of birds singing drifted through open windows, a gentle chorus blessing the union, welcoming the love. Juliet wore a gown of pale blue silk, the color of summer skies, of peaceful waters, of quiet happiness. Her hair was woven with small white roses from her garden, creating a crown of flowers, simple and beautiful, like her heart. She looked like something from a beautiful dream, a vision of peace, of love made visible, of grace made flesh. Romeo waited at the altar, his heart calm and full, his eyes bright with joy, with wonder, with gratitude. When he saw her appear in the doorway, silhouetted against the golden afternoon light, he felt his breath catch. Not from surprise, but from the overwhelming beauty of the moment, the perfection of it, the rightness, the peace. She moved toward him slowly, her steps graceful and sure, her eyes never leaving his. And when she reached him and took his hands, the world seemed to pause, to hold its breath, to witness something sacred, something eternal, something beautiful. They spoke their vows in quiet, steady voices, promising to love and cherish one another, to be partners in all things, to walk through life hand in hand, through joy and sorrow, through plenty and want, through all the days of their lives, until the end of time. And when the friar pronounced them husband and wife, and Romeo lifted Juliet's veil and kissed her, it was a kiss as soft and gentle as the first drop of rain on a summer leaf, as tender as a whispered promise, as sweet as the fragrance of roses at dusk. It was a seal on a promise, made of quiet joy and endless devotion. a bond that nothing in heaven or earth could ever break or diminish or take away. They left the chapel hand in hand, stepping into the golden afternoon light, warm and welcoming, bright and beautiful. No longer two separate people, but one soul inhabiting two bodies, bound together by vows and blessed by heaven for all eternity. The weeks that followed were like a golden dream, woven from moonbeams and whispered promises. Their love was a secret they held close, a warm, precious light in their hearts. They found new ways to be together, brief, stolen moments in the quietest parts of the day. A shared glance across the marketplace, a hidden note left in the hollow of an old tree, a brief meeting in a quiet chapel where they could kneel side by side in peaceful silence. Their joy was a quiet, radiant thing, and without knowing how, it began to gently touch the world around them. The roses in Juliet's garden bloomed with impossible beauty, their colors richer and more vibrant than ever before. Their fragrance drifting on the air like a soft blessing, like a prayer, like a song without words. Romeo's poetry, always lovely, now seemed to glow with warm inner light. Words flowing from his pen like music, like water from a spring, like light from the sun, capturing the essence of perfect happiness, the wonder of finding one's soulmate, the miracle of two hearts beating as one. Even their families, the Montagues and the Capulets, seemed to grow calmer, more content, more peaceful, as if the quiet happiness of their children was a gentle tide that lifted them all, carrying them towards something better, something kinder, something more beautiful. Servants noticed the change. Merchants remarked on it. Children playing in the square between the two houses laughed more freely, their games more creative, their disputes resolving more easily. The very air between the two villas seemed charged with harmony, with goodwill, with the quiet power of love. And then, one clear winter morning, when the sunlight was crisp and bright, when the world felt fresh and new, they decided it was time to share their secret with the world. They went first to Juliet's parents, hand in hand, their faces serene and happy, peaceful and sure. There were surprised looks and quiet questions, but as Juliet and Romeo spoke, sharing the simple, beautiful story of their love, any hesitation simply melted away, like snow in spring, like darkness at dawn. Lady Capulet saw the deep, peaceful joy in her daughter's eyes, a happiness more profound than she had ever seen before. And her mother's heart recognized the truth of it, felt the rightness of it, welcomed it. Lord Capulet looked at the young man who held his daughter's hand with such gentle care, and saw not a stranger, but a good, honest soul, someone worthy of the treasure he had been given, someone to trust. They welcomed him, not with grand speeches, but with open hearts and quiet acceptance. And so it was with Romeo's family. Their parents saw the same radiant peace in their son's face. And they too opened their arms to Juliet, to this gentle girl who had made their son so happy, so complete, so whole. The quiet, forgotten friendship between the two households was gently rekindled, warmed by the steady flame of their children's love, nourished by their joy, blessed by their union. A public celebration was held, a beautiful, joyful gathering that filled the gardens with music and laughter. The whole city seemed to rejoice with them, the bells of Verona chiming in celebration, their golden voices carrying across the ancient city like a blessing, like a welcome, like a song of joy. The streets decorated with flowers, roses and lilies and jasmine, their colors bright, their fragrance sweet, the fountains dancing in the sunlight, their water catching the light, throwing tiny rainbows into the air, celebrating with them. And at the center of it all were Romeo and Juliet, finally able to share their happiness with everyone they loved, with everyone who loved them. They danced again, as they had on the night they first met. But now their dance was a gentle public celebration of the quiet, private vows they had made months before in the small chapel on the hill. And so their life together began, a life built not on grand gestures, but on 1,000 small, quiet moments of love. They filled their home with books and music, with fresh flowers from Juliet's garden, with the laughter of friends and the warmth of family. They became known throughout Verona, not for wealth or status, but for the kindness in their hearts, the generosity of their spirits, the way their love seemed to bless everyone who came near them, to comfort those who were sad, to encourage those who were lost, to warm those who were cold. Children came to bless their union, beautiful beings who seemed to inherit the best qualities of both parents. Romeo's romantic soul and poetic nature, Juliet's practical wisdom and gift for nurturing growth. The children grew up in an atmosphere of such love and security that they radiated the same joy their parents had found, carrying forward the legacy of perfect love into a new generation, into a new time, into a new hope. As the years passed, as seasons turned, and time flowed gently on, like the river through Verona, their love did not diminish. It deepened, like wine aging in perfect conditions, becoming richer, more complex, more precious with each passing year. They faced the challenges that come to every life, illnesses and losses, disappointments and difficulties. But they faced them together, their bond growing stronger through every trial, through every storm, through every dark night, weathered side by side, hand in hand, heart to heart. They grew old together, their hair turning silver, like moonlight, like frost on morning grass. Their steps growing slower, more careful, more gentle. But their eyes still holding the same light that had first drawn them together across a crowded ballroom so many years ago. That light never faded, never dimmed, never went out. In their final years, they would sit together in their garden as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of rose and gold. Surrounded by the roses they had planted and tended through decades of marriage, through all the seasons of their lives. Their hands loosely clasped, their shoulders touching, their breathing slow and peaceful. Together. They would watch the fireflies begin their slow, silent dance among the flowers, their tiny lights rising and falling like earthbound stars. Listen to the distant, soft chime of the evening bells, calling the city to rest, to peace, to sleep. Feel the warm breeze on their faces, soft as a blessing, gentle as a prayer, kind as love itself. And simply be together in perfect peace, in perfect love, in perfect stillness. Do you remember? Juliet would ask on quiet evenings, when the stars appeared overhead like old friends returning after a long absence. Do you remember how we used to meet in secret in this very garden, whispering our love to each other as if it were the most precious secret in the world? I remember everything, Romeo would reply, his voice still filled with wonder, even after all those years. Every moment has been precious. Every day has been a gift. Every year has been a blessing, beyond what I ever dared to hope for. When I was young and searching for something I couldn't name, it was you I was searching for, all along. And when their time on earth finally came to an end, as it must for all mortal beings, no matter how deeply they love or how perfectly they have lived, Romeo and Juliet passed from this world as they had lived in it, together, hand in hand, heart to heart, soul to soul, their love having created something beautiful and lasting that would endure long after their physical forms had returned to the earth that had nurtured them. The story of their love became legend in Verona and beyond, passed down through generations, grandmothers to grandchildren, fathers to sons, mothers to daughters, as proof that true love is not just a poet's fancy, not just a dream for the young, not just a story told to pass the time, but a real force, a true power, a living thing that can transform lives, heal divisions, create beauty where none existed before, and inspire others to believe in the possibility of finding their own perfect companion, their own true love, their own happily ever after. And if you walk through Verona today, in the softest hours of twilight, when the day's warmth still lingers on ancient stone, you can still feel it in the scent of jasmine climbing garden walls, in the gentle splash of hidden fountains, in the warm golden light on old cobblestones. The love of Romeo and Juliet still lingers, still blesses, still whispers that true love, patient and kind and faithful, can overcome any obstacle and create miracles that last for eternity. Miracles like the one you carry in your own quiet heart. So let their story carry you now. Let the peace of their city, the warmth of their sun, the softness of the night air on their skin, let it all wash over you like a slow, gentle tide, like a soft summer rain, like a mother's lullaby, taking you deeper and deeper into a place of perfect, restful calm, where nothing is asked of you, where nothing is required, where you can simply be and rest and sleep. Tonight's story is now gently coming to an end. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for listening. You don't need to do anything now. Just rest. Let your thoughts grow quiet, one by one, like candles being softly blown out. The soft sounds you hear, the gentle rain, the quiet hush of the world outside. They will continue to play, slowly, softly, steadily, guiding you deeper and deeper into comfortable, natural sleep. Close your eyes now. Let your shoulders soften. Let your hands rest open. Let your breath grow slow and easy. There is nothing to carry with you tonight. No thoughts to hold, no worries to keep. Only this quiet moment, only this gentle stillness. Allow yourself to drift away now, like a leaf on still water, like a cloud across a silent moon. Deeper and deeper and deeper still. Good night and sweet dreams.